Thanks so much for joining us for this edition of Your Reporter Behind the Story. Today, we are focusing on veteran Israel Del Toro Jr., also known as DT. Your reporter Kelly Werthmann caught up with him, learning more about his life after surviving an attack in Afghanistan and a promise about serving his country and family that he continues to uphold.
Out here on the rolling plains east of Colorado Springs, no amount of gray skies can dim Israel Del Toro's spark.
Where we go?
This is where the Air Force veteran known as DT is most at peace.
It's me, just simple me. That's, I guess, the behind the scenes. Israel Del Toro that most people may not see. This is actually stuff I've had for over 20 years.
What most people do see are many of DT's scars, signs of a war survived and a promise never broken.
And it all really goes back to the promise to my dad, to take care of your family.
DT made that promise when he was 12 years old, the night before his dad passed away. It is the same promise that fueled him to join the U.S. Air Force as a special operator.
And I knew I wanted to be at the tip of the spear. Is it in here? But I think this might be it. I think it's something I did. It's not something that I strive to get, I was doing my job,
He saw action in Bosnia as well as the First Iraq War. Then in 2005, DT deployed to Afghanistan as part of Operation Enduring Freedom. That December, his Humvee hit an IED, engulfing the 30-year-old airman in flames. DT was burned over 80% of his body, spent months in a coma, given just a 15% chance to live.
When you're severely burned, they cover up the mirrors because they want to ease you into what you're going to look like. I was going to the restroom. I needed help. I had slipped, and they grabbed me. And at the moment they grabbed me, they pulled off the towel off the mirror. When I saw my face, I was like, oh my God, I'm a 30-year-old man. And if I think I'm a monster, what's my little 3-year-old son gonna think? And the thought of that, of my son being afraid of me, broke me. It literally broke me. Because again, it wasn't a vanity thing at all. I didn't care. It was my son. The thought of him being terrified of me, I was like, I don't want to keep going. I was like, just let me die. And
Yet even in his darkest hour, DT clung to the promise he made as a boy, and the love of his own son gave him a reason to fight.
He comes in and he sees me and stops. All that fear rushes back, like, oh my God, my son's terrified of me. But then he just tilts his head to the side and looks at me and is like, Papi? I'm like, yeah. And just comes up and gives me the most amazing hug, probably the most amazing moment in my life besides seeing him being born.
Ladies and gentlemen, Master Sergeant Israel Del Toro Jr.
DT didn't just survive, he defied every expectation, becoming the first 100% disabled airman to re-enlist.
I will stay strong for the ones who cannot. I will fight for the ones who cannot fight. I will never quit on you, and I will finish strong.
DT's service continues now in helping others find the strength to never quit.
I'm a realist. I know I'm not gonna touch everybody. But sometimes there's one or two that really need to hear a story to help them find their spark. Because I like to say we all have it.
Without question, DT embodies resilience, sacrifice, and strength, a message that rises from beyond the battlefield.
Anyone doesn't know what the phoenix is? It's a bird on fire, but when it dies, it is reborn. I created this logo of the Rising Phoenix.
But here, on the quiet plains of Peyton, he's not a war hero or a public figure.
I'm truly at peace on the ranch.
He's just DT, a father, a husband, a man who found peace with the promise he made and kept.
You asked me earlier why I try to be humble, you know, that kind of regular guy, because of my dad. Because I never want to disappoint him. I always want him to be hopefully proud of me. I wouldn't change a single thing. I will do it all over again.
Really just an incredible story. Kelly joins us now. Kelly, great work on this, as always. DT lives in Southern Colorado. You went out to his ranch to do this story. So how did this story come about?
Well, you know how you hear that saying, it's not about what you know, it's who you know? Well, I got to give a lot of credit to my mom here because, so DT has written his memoir, A Patriot's Promise. And like we mentioned, he lives down in Peyton, and he held a book signing a few years ago. And my mom happens to live in Peyton. And so she met him there, and they created this really wonderful friendship, kind of as neighbors can be when you have ranch property and you're all spread out like that. And so when I was given the assignment to do something special for Veterans Day, I knew immediately who I wanted to talk to, and so gave my mom a call, and DT could not have been more kind with like, yeah, Pam, share my phone number. I'd love to meet your daughter. And the rest is kind of history that, you know, in terms of getting to share his story.
Love that story. Shout out to Mom for the help.
Thanks, Mom.
On this one. You know, in this story, they talk about everything that DT has been through. He was given a 15% chance to live. And honestly, I find it amazing that given all that he's been through, he still has such a positive outlook and really an amazing outlook on life.
Oh, I mean, it really is. It's inspiring to say the least. And, you know, and you heard him say in our story, you know, that he really did lean on his son and the promise that he made when he was a child, that he never wanted to leave his own son fatherless, because he knew what it was like to go through that journey. But I mean, my goodness, DT had third-degree burns over 80% of his body. I mean, and he goes into it in his book, the amount of care that it took over the course of, I think, almost 5 years, more than 100 different surgeries. You know, you think about how many times you've probably wanted to either give up or say enough is enough, but DT perseveres. He is resilient beyond measure. And again, it goes back to his promise that he made to his dad to take care of his family. And that family, of course, is his wife, Carmen, his son, Israel Del Toro III, and then that extends into his family of the military brothers and sisters. And as you heard him say in his SB speech, that he will never quit for anyone, to show that it's possible to go through those hard challenges and still have a smile on your face, be optimistic. You never know what life will give you and where it will take you, but he wants to continue being that for others.
You included a portion of that speech at the SB, certainly a great message to others, and it seems like DT takes a lot of pride in reaching out to others and helping others.
Absolutely. I mean, when he invited us to his home and we got to see his beautiful ranch, you know, I, of course, was asking about his awards that he was given, whether it was the SB.
He's got the Purple Heart just kind of stashed away in a drawer somewhere.
Hanging in a drawer right there next to his other medals. But he says that's really who he is. I mean, he earned that because of his job, right? That's not something that he strived for, right? But who he has always been is a family man and an authentic person to his friends, to his fellow military servicemen and women, to his community. He's lived in a number of places around the United States. His family also comes from Mexico. He's deeply connected to his family there. But he has always been a person who wanted to help others. What I also think is interesting is he is the first member of his family to join the military. That wasn't something like he might have followed in an uncle's footsteps or somebody along those lines. And so that act of service to wanting to help others is in his blood somewhere, somehow, and I don't think that will ever leave him. And he wants to inspire others to be that way. It doesn't have to be in the military, right? It can be in other things like sports or wherever you might find some leadership or that spark. He talks about having a spark, and that it's all in us somewhere.
Yeah, well, that act of service obviously comes through in what he is still doing today. You mentioned sports, and the SB seems very appropriate. We got a very small hint of his sports memorabilia collection in the story that you did. He really has amassed an incredible memorabilia collection.
Absolutely. You saw a very small glimpse of it that's down in his office. Yeah, so we got to walk through. That closet we just passed right there is actually full of Dodgers jerseys that he was given personally from Pete Rose. There you see the Roberto Clemente. He actually has 2 of those.
Really?
Okay. He's been collecting these incredible playing cards, trading cards, and athletic memorabilia throughout his life. He's from the south part of Chicago, so he's a big White Sox fan, big Chicago Bears fan. The Pat Tillman jersey you saw there, Pat Tillman's family actually gave him that. He's got the White Sox World Series ring. He has a White Sox, that baseball right there, signed by the entire team when they won the World Series. I mean, Michael Jordan, he's got all of this. All of this is on display. I mean, the list goes on and on. And Walter Payton, I mean, it's just like he's so proud of this, which is amazing, right? Like, this is what's on display in his office. And then, then he goes into the drawer to find his Purple Heart and some of his other sports memorabilia or other military awards. But I love that about him. He's always been a big sports fan, and then becoming a wounded warrior, he took part in the Invictus Games. He says that athletics has always been a part of him, that he enjoys, pushing himself to other limits, but also being a part of a team. He played, I believe it was with the shot put and discus and cycling. It was part of like the Paralympics. Yeah. I mean, sports is just in his blood. He says throughout his life, but the memorabilia, oh my goodness.
That's a story in and of itself.
In and of itself. And he told me he had done some interviews with Sports Illustrated and ESPN, and some of those photojournalists that came to his home were like, your house could be a museum that is more so than what we have seen in other sports museums. The amount of memorabilia that he has, but that he has been kindly given or that he has just collected over the years. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I'm grateful that we got to share a little bit of that too, and so grateful for DT and his story, and that he continues to inspire others in everything that he does.
Yeah, definitely recommend his book. I'm not here to push it because I'm not, his PR gal, but I read it. It's inspiring. Yeah. I mean, I know I keep using that word, but I don't know what else to say.
Well, and that comes through in your story, so great reporting.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, Kelly, thank you. And you can find more of Kelly's great work on our website, cbscolorado.com.